One. Welcome to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. This is your boy DJ KO. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show. Last week, we had a pretty good show. We talked about some things for as trading and brand marketing and copywriting and whatever your brands that you have, how to protect your brands and how to learn more about intellectual property. So last week, I appreciate you guys that had the comments, concerns, and everything that you guys reached out. Wanted to know more about branding, making your brand, trademarking your brand, copywriting your brand. So today we have a special show. We have some brothers that's doing some things in the community that's positive, that's helping the community, pushing the community forward. One good thing about this show is the reason why it's called Culturally Distinct, because we have distinctions within our culture, right? So we as Black people, we have different ideals, different concepts, different things that we do, but we do it differently. So that's the good part about this show. And these brothers that's here today, we're going to explain the business side of what they're doing at the same time, how they're helping out in the community. So today, our first guest we have is Dr. Hylton Lasalle. He got a hand applause.
Got a whole audience over
there. And to the left of me, we have Mr. Ezra Landry, my ex-teammate. And this other brother, you probably seen this guy about a month ago, I believe, about a couple of weeks ago. He knocked this other guy out. I can't say his name right quick, but you guys going to see him. He's 26-1. He's the light welterweight champion right now, 140-pound division.
140 pounds former champion. Right now, 140-pound former champion.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I want you guys to welcome to the show Mr. Regis Prograis. Hey. I said it right the first time, Prograis. So how you guys doing today? You guys good?
We good. Real good.
Y'all good?
Everything real good. I'm a little tired, to be honest.
Okay.
But besides that, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right. So guys, first of all, I thank you guys for coming to the show. I know you guys are busy. You guys have a busy schedule. First, I want to get into OTA Overtime Academy, right? So you guys are the founders of Overtime Academy, and then I'm gonna get into Regis, and I'm gonna tie everything into it. For us, Overtime Academy. What is Overtime Academy exactly?
Okay. You want to start, or you want me to go first? So I think everything needs to start with the history of it, and so the history of it is just working with two former athletes.
Okay.
Who identified that there was some real a gap pretty much in what's going on in the sports world that needed to be addressed, and something that they had been talking about it for a while, and then just understanding that they knew that my background was in mental health.
Okay.
I have a master's degree from mental health from the Southern University.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, shout out Southern University.
And so having a mental health background and these guys identifying a gap that exists in the sports world, just the challenges that athletes experience and just to bring forth the idea of mental health and mentoring in all aspects of athletes. Yeah.
Okay, so I know this month is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah. And
I know you guys are doing a lot of stuff with the mental health side of it. Regis, as being a professional boxer, I know that as athletes, you guys deal with a lot of stuff. You guys have the media, you got family, you have just stuff that you guys deal with, as far as on the mental health side. So first question, how do you guys, one, deal with so much coming at y'all at one time?
Well, first off, it does get kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie. Especially the higher level you get, higher and higher, it gets harder and harder and harder. Now I actually just, I got a team around me, I got assistants, they do all kinds of things for me. But it's hard, man. Like sometimes you dealing with family, you're dealing with business. Right now, I'm involving myself with a lot of businesses, doing media stuff, and then on top of that, you still gotta train every day. That's like the hardest thing, because as an athlete, like as far as myself, I want to be the best.
Okay.
So my focus is, boxing. I want to box. I want to focus. I want to focus on being the best. But you got so much stuff on the outside, and sometimes my days is so stressed. It's so stressed and so hectic because I gotta focus on so many things.
Okay.
And on top of that, I got to box.
Right.
So it's real hard. But that's why you have people around you that they kind of handle some things for you.
Okay. So let me, first of all, before I get into it, I want to know exactly where you guys from, because we having this conversation. You know what I'm saying? I want to know where you guys from. I want the people to let know where you guys are from first, before we get into it, because I think where you're from is important. People who come from different backgrounds, they tend to look at people to say, okay, they're from the same place I'm from. If they did, I can do it, right? So where are you guys from, Doc?
Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm gonna represent Marrero for life, and so definitely Marrero, 8th Ward, New Orleans, Louisiana, man.
Okay, shout out New Orleans. Hey, Regis, what about yourself?
I'm New Orleans. Same thing. I'm New Orleans.
New Orleans
boy. Yep.
Ezra?
Same.
New Orleans. Oh, so see, I didn't know everybody from New Orleans in here, so it's a New Orleans thing. Okay, I got you. So, and everybody knows that New Orleans, back in 2005, they went through a tragic situation, Katrina. So a lot of people was misplaced. So you was one of the persons that was misplaced, right?
Yeah.
And you came. What did you go after Katrina?
I came to Houston.
Came to
First
Houston.
place
Okay.
I came to Houston. I went to, like I was telling you earlier, I went to 5 high schools. Came to Houston. Then I went to Slidell. Then I went to Mississippi. Then I ended up coming back to Houston.
So so that whole transition, that leaving New Orleans, going to Mississippi, going to Houston, back to Louisiana, back to Houston.
Yeah.
That's a tragedy in itself.
Trauma.
Right.
Right? And now, at the same time, you still have to deal with everyday life, going to school.
Right.
Going to school, dealing with your parents, or dealing with friends, or misplaced family.
Yeah.
Overtime Academy.
Yeah.
So do you guys deal with, is it athletes that are professional? Is it athletes that high school, junior high? What's the level of athletes do you guys deal with?
Yeah, our primary population is youth, and so we want to basically start working with young men as early as middle school, primarily focusing on middle schools and high schools. But we deal with athletes all the way across the board. Successful athletes who completed and are just kind of thinking about what's next. So, but to kind of circle back to what you said earlier, man. Coming out of the city, we all are survivors.
Yeah.
And I was displaced as well. I was fortunate that I had already been in Houston and just coming back and had somewhere to go. But the subconscious trauma that we experienced, and even me being fortunate enough to have a job with a lot of flexibility, the resources, having lived in Houston first and had family here, having somewhere to come back to, I realized that I was traumatized. So I can only imagine, and I drove. I had my mom, my grandmother, my 2 aunts, my stepfather, my daughter. We packed up our car and we drove out of here.
Okay.
And I reflected back 5 years after, and I'm like, I was traumatized.
Yeah.
That little experience I had, I was traumatized. So I can only imagine what my other people went through,
Yeah, and then, trying to maintain your composure, trying to maintain your sanity.
Yeah.
Just by handling that. So let me ask you guys this. The purpose. What's the purpose of it?
Purpose is basically the way that the analogy that I use is, growing up, you have parents or people in the community constantly talking to you about different things.
Okay.
And so as you get to that, what they call post-secondary experience, where you graduated from high school and now you're on your own, you reflect back on those conversations. You're hearing those conversations.
Okay.
Grandmother said this, mama said sit this way. And,
Right.
Well, for athletes, who's having that conversation with them about the fact that you got the pressures of performing every day? You got to go to practice. You got academics. You got, girls that are coming at you now. People forecasting your income now and figuring out how they gonna benefit from it. Then you got the schools that are soliciting you. So that's a lot going on. And then, you got the media, wanting to ask you questions. And how do you prepare for those kind of things?
Right.
How do you prepare financially? how do you prepare for relationship? You know, new relationships, old relationships. Mr. Regis mentioned earlier, now you got business opportunities coming at you. Who prepares you for all that? What happens, and there's a slogan that's out there, what happens when the lights turn off?
Right.
And you've been a superstar and I laugh because I think about my experiences at Nicholson Playground, and I can only imagine, some of the cats that I came with, you've been a celebrity all your life, and then all of a sudden, you sneeze or you break an arm or a wrist or a finger, you're no longer the celebrity.
That's right.
And that's all you know for 22 years, 18 years. What do I do next?
Right. So
that's trauma.
Oh, yeah. So going to that, you spoke about performance, and since you're a professional, performance is key, right? I think boxing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, boxing is more like it's like track. It's a position sport. Every inch counts. Every move counts. And everything that you do is important. Because if you in the wrong place, the wrong time.
Can't take your focus off for 1 second.
Right. No. So it's a major focus. So how does a athlete of your caliber, how do they prepare to perform first? How do you prepare? What the mindset that you get into? Is it a pre meditation phase? Then I got to get into my grind phase. Then I got to, what's the process?
I mean, you talk about before a fight or before practice or
everything. Just to lead up into a fight.
Lead up into a fight. I mean, so I do an 8-week camp, right? So you do a whole 2 months camp or whatever. So it's you basically preparing your mind and your body all the way until you get to that peak moment, right? Okay. So it's a gradual process, like you got to gradually inch by inch getting better, getting sharper, mentally preparing yourself, focusing more and more until you get to that fight night. And then fight night, everything come together. Then you peaked and everything just comes together naturally, but it's a long process. The whole 2 months. And before that, like right now, I don't have a fight coming up, but I'm still training. I'm still in the gym. I'm still training. Still watch boxing. I try to watch it every day. So it's never. And it's in boxing. We don't have off season. I know in a lot of different sports they have off season. In boxing, there's no such thing as an off season. Okay. Right? It's a year round thing. So, and for me, I want to be the best. So I'm trying to train. Every day. Or even when I'm in training camp, I train every day 3 times a day. But like right now, while I'm out of training camp, I'm still trying to train every day. And still trying to focus and just get better.
Who is some people that you look up to for a style?
Boxing wise, Mike Tyson was always my favorite fighter.
Okay,
Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran.
So you like somebody to knock him out.
I got I think right now I have the highest knockout percentage at my weight class.
Okay,
I got 22 knockouts.
Okay, let's say you 26-1. So 26-1, so you have 22 knockouts.
22
okay, so you're a heavy hitter.
I got power in both hands. Yeah.
So I think I should lose about 135 pounds to get in the ring with you, man. Okay, that's dope, man. Okay, so you Mike Tyson. Who else?
Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran.
Okay.
Pernell Whitaker. I love Pernell. Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay. Sugar Ray Robinson. You got always the great Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah, that's the great.
Henry Armstrong, Joe Louis. I mean, Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Marvin Hagler. Yeah. I mean, I could just I'm a boxing historian, so I can go boxing all the way to like the 1900s.
I feel I see the passion in
so
you,
I just know about it, But as far as my favorite fight, the one that actually got me into the sport was Mike Tyson.
Okay, because that's going to be my next question. So how did you get into it? Like, how does a young kid that's displaced from Katrina, how do they say, I want to be a boxer?
Well, it was kind of before Katrina. I grew up like in New Orleans, so I grew up like fighting on the street, fighting my friends. At first, it was like fighting my little sister, and then like fighting cousins, then going on the street fighting friends and all that type of stuff. So I just love to fight. Like when we grew up, we was fighting, and then I'll be fighting my partners and all that stuff, and people on the street, and I won't be fighting. I won't be mad. I'm happy when I fight. Same thing right now. Like when I fight, I'm not mad. I don't gotta be mad at you. Like I'm happy. I think like I'm if I actually like have a street fight with somebody, I don't know what's gonna happen because when I fight, I'm happy. So imagine if I get mad, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't know what's gonna happen if I fight somebody on the street. But when I fight, I'm happy. I just love to do it. So I always had that. When I was younger, that's kind of what I had. I loved it. So I was first put in karate. Okay. And, my daddy put me in karate because he just saw I like to fight. I like to do that. And so he put me in karate. And karate just wasn't for me because it wasn't rough enough. You know, in karate, you got to pull your punches back, you know? And so I kept going, I kept quitting and going back. And so, like, the last time I went back, like, I sparred and I hurt somebody. Like, you know, karate got those little bitty gloves on when you spar, and I stopped kicking. I didn't want to kick no more. I just want to like use my fist. So I ended up sparring with somebody. I hurt him real bad, and so the sensei was like, he told my dad, like, he can't do this. That's it. Right. Like, that's it. You know, go play football or go box or something. And so I think that was like I don't know how old I was, maybe like 10, 11. And so after that, you know, that's kind of was, you know, my mindset. I want to do that. But initially I didn't go straight into that. I think I played football. Of course, New Orleans, we play football and basketball. That's what we do. Right. And New Orleans is not a city known for too many boxers, basically, you know. Yeah. So I went do that. I went play the football and, you know, and all that type of stuff. And then what happened, another story I had is when I went to McDonald 35, I was playing football, and we used to always fight in the gloves. Basically, all the football players would fight in the gloves. And so
in the locker room?
In the locker room, yeah. Oh, okay. But the teachers would watch us. The teacher would be watching us. One of the coaches would be watching us and stuff. So
come on, 35.
That's what we did. That's what we did.
But it was an honor school or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. So all the football. So one day it was during lunchtime, right? And I heard, me and my partners, we was walking past this classroom, and we just heard a lot of noise. So we knocked on the door, and like it just got real quiet. And so they opened the door, and you saw they was like in there like boxing. Yeah. And so one of the dudes that he was in there, like kind of the ringleader dude, he was like, he looked. And he was saying, y'all can't come in unless y'all get in the gloves. So all my partners, they kind of walked off. They was like, all right, whatever. And I was the only one. I was still standing there like I didn't say nothing, but they see I was like, he saw I was like interested. So he kind of gave me that look. Yeah. And I know him since elementary school. So I just got in the gloves and I beat the dude up. And so then it was like a weekly thing. Every week, every Friday or whatever, we'll get in the gloves. Same thing in that. And I just kept winning. So one of the times the coach came in. The coach was in there. He was in there sitting with us watching. And same thing, I whooped the dude. And after the fight, he was like, bro, he pulled me to the side. He was like, look, you probably don't got no future in football, but you might have one in boxing.
He was honest, right?
Right. And at the time, I felt that anyway. I didn't want to play football no more. You know, I was like, man, you know, because like, man, in football, so I played football, you know, I think when I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, all that type of stuff. Yeah. And, you know, all these dudes, y'all know these dudes going to, in the summertime, these dudes going to camps
and all
they
that.
getting bigger, they getting darker, they getting stronger. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I'm saying? This ain't meant for me, you know? Right. And so then he kind of confirmed what I was already thinking. And I just turned in my equipment, and then I just went to a boxing gym. And that was my 10th grade year. And so what happened, during that time, my 10th grade year, what happened is I started, my grades started dropping a little bit. So my mama, she took me out, and I had to wait till the summertime. So I waited till the summertime, and then once the summer came, I found a different boxing gym, and I just loved it.
In New Orleans?
In New Orleans. It's in New Orleans. Okay. And so I loved it. And then Katrina happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
then I had to go. Then I came here and relocated, did all that, moving around, went to 5 high schools and did all that. Then I finally came to Houston, and that's when it really started. Wow.
So I see that your purpose found you, you know, right. Even though
that sounds fancy, bro. You just made that up, man.
Well, no, I'm saying his purpose found him because even though he was in an organized school was supposed to be doing something but they wasn't. Yeah. But like I said, your purpose found you, and then you had a coach that was honest with you. Say, look, son, look, let me sit you down.
This ain't for you.
Right. So that goes to overtime.
Yeah.
So in the example like Regis gave, is that something that overtime does to give that mentorship to kids that don't have the oversight to see the future?
Absolutely. Okay. So the idea is to just kind of start having those conversations, but doing it in a structured format where the actual program is designed sort of like a college course, but not that type of rigor, but just the conversation, very topic specific, all the assessments in there. We want to see how you grow. And then with every major topic, there's a mentoring component where someone who's in the sport or have played the sport has a set of questions that have been designed by our clinical psychologists to just provoke conversation so that they can start reflecting on these type of experiences. And then now you have someone there who can actually share with you how they have handled it and give you some options, opposed to you in these positions later on in life, not having even had the conversation, not have had taken the course, but then let alone not even have had a conversation about various perspectives of it.
Okay.
And then the clinical component, what we do have is that we know that as we talk about these topics, particularly coming out of the city, people have had different emotional experiences and trauma. I mean, we talking about Katrina, but shit, trauma's been going on.
Oh, yeah.
And, every
way
neighborhood.
back.
So now, we having these conversations in the program, and you also talking to a mentor. Well, what if something surfaced? So we partner with clinical agencies, counseling agencies that come in once a week and just sit in a group and just have conversations about that particular topic. Now, this person is skilled and trained, and they're familiar with addressing those issues. And so if it needs to go a step further, now you schedule a one-on-one counseling session with that person. Okay. You know how to engage that now, opposed to you getting, to college somewhere, and you having all of these conversations and experiences, and you're trying to figure it out. Not only did you not have the program, not only did you not have the mentor, not only you don't even know how to engage a counselor.
Right.
You're talking to your coach, but coaches, y'all consume with X amount of players.
Right.
Trying to save your job.
It's a business, dude.
Right, it's a business.
It's a business,
and you love your athlete.
Yeah.
But are you trained?
You're trying to keep your job, too, at the same time.
Exactly. Are you really trained to have that kind of conversation? Not even to address the issue, but say, look, young man, these are some things that I'm identifying. Here's somebody you need to go talk to. Not at the counseling center at your PWI where you got Susie.
Yeah, I got you.
Fresh out of college.
So I'm gonna go there next.
Who's not relatable. You see what I'm saying? But now you've engaged with somebody where you can pick up the phone and call your mentor and say, look, man, I'm having these feelings again, et cetera. How do I address it? Well, yeah, remember you met that counselor? Pick up the phone and call him. There may be one in your local area we can refer you to.
Okay.
And just have that conversation.
I got you. So in saying that, for its relatability, I'm gonna use it in a professional term. I'm not gonna use a street term. Relatability, is it something that this is mandatory? You got to be somebody that's relatable with you.
It's essential, bro.
Okay.
It's essential. I mean, no different than people have talked about the idea of having a black president.
Okay. So you said the term. So I didn't want to say the term, but okay.
I got you. I mean, now we have young athletes, young women. Now we have a woman of color vice president. So how does that impact young African American or women, young girls of color now, and their potential of wanting to be the vice president of the United States now?
Right. I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
I see the vision of it. Yeah. So if say an athlete of Regis caliber wanted to invest or wanted to get into overtime, not overtime, but something that overtime does, a product that overtime produces, how does an athlete like a Regis reach out to you guys or say, what can I do to help?
Right. Well, of course, definitely contact us via email or through our website or phone number, and I can provide all that. But there are various roles. You can come in and serve as a mentor. You can come in and speak. You can come in and invest maybe some of your time in being a facilitator, which we train all of our facilitators. It's essential. I think the shocking thing to me when it was brought to my attention is that none of these formal institutions have a system or a structure in place. That was still shocking to me. And tell a quick story about it is that if we were talking about it, I'm like, man, that's impossible. I called my mentor. He played 12 years in the NFL. He said, it doesn't exist. Still didn't believe it. Sitting at home for Christmas and saw the HBO Michael Phelps story. And they were just talking about the whole Olympic experience, kind of like what you described. These guys prepared for 4 years or 3.5 years for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, right.
What happens when the 15 minutes is over with? Now you're working at Starbucks and people looking at you on TV. But even more so, and the guy was a snowboarder of some sort, and I can't remember his name. He said, even if there was a third-party agency that they could have referred us to, that would have been appreciative.
That's heavy, though.
Now, you got sports psychologists out there, but we're talking about a comprehensive program that's going to give you these conversations, and it's all about intervention and prevention. We don't know where you are at that particular time when we meet you, so this might be a serious intervention for you. Or even if you're not there, we're preventing things by giving you this access and information in advance.
That's dope. You know what? I never thought about that. Regis, you a fighter. And to what you say, I prepare for something for 4 years, for 15 minutes, and then it's over. You prepare for a fight for 8 weeks. 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, about
8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You knock the guy out, and it's over. Then what?
Then you have fun. Then you have fun.
No, I'm saying, I understand.
You get your paycheck and you like go play around. You gonna have some fun. That's all.
But I'm saying like that prepare because
I understand what you're saying. So it's like, for me, it's like it's always like a weight. It's like a big weight is lifted off my shoulder every time. Every time I fight, it's like you got it out the way, like because you prepare for that long time. And the thing is, so in boxing, I always be in my hotel room like the week before the fight, leading up to the fight, and you always think like this. You always go through your visualization and thinking this is gonna happen, and it never. I'm talking about never. I had 27 fights, and it never went the way. Never went the way I envisioned it. Right. It never goes that way, So, but most of the time, it's just like a big weight that's just lifted off your shoulder every time because you train. You train for 2 months, and that's for training camp. Right. 3 times a day, 2 months, and when I'm in training camp, I take it real serious.
3 times a day.
I train 3 times a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, every single day.
I train once,
times.
Man. Yeah. I'm out for the count.
Yeah, man, 3 times a day. And right now, I still train about once a day. When I'm out of camp, I don't have no fights coming up, but still try to stay sharp and train about once a day. But when I'm in camp, it's like 3 times a day. And it's just like when the fight happens, it's just like a big weight. It's just off your shoulder because you don't know what happens. Like it's man versus man, and this man trained for 8 weeks too, and this man is trying to knock your head off your shoulder. So every time I fight, it's just like, all right, thank you, it's over, and on to the next.
So to what you said, also like you said, how you prepare for something, and everything you visualize, it never comes to play.
Yeah, it's
like a saying they have. It says, if you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans, right? Mm-hmm. So, because everything I had planned, it never came to fruition.
It
went a whole alternate route, but it was a better situation because I saw it in my.
But I want to circle back to something that he said, man, and you brought up something that's very interesting, and it's amazing how you described it. But when you train and train and train, you basically condition yourself for something, and then boom, that habit is no longer there. Yeah, and I can tell you about my doctoral experience. When I finished, I was sitting around like I had just got out of pen. I mean, I'm at the family picnic like,
what's next?
I'm supposed to be studying somewhere. I'm supposed to be, and so I'm sitting over there separating myself from everybody else. Everybody else having a good time, and I'm still. You turn that off like that, man. After the fight, you completely just turn it off.
Yeah, it's just a whole different. You turn it off. It's like a whole different mindset. Like a whole different mental mindset. So basically, when you like it's just different stages, I guess. Because it's like when I first start camp, I'm excited. I'm ready to start camp, ready to go because I start camp in LA. So I go to LA for the first 2 weeks and I start out there and I'm just real excited. Then, once camp really starts kicking in, then, you're still excited and stuff. But that last 2 weeks, it's like, I'm ready to get this over with. Yeah. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to get over with. And I'm already planning like, all right, after the fight, I'm thinking about doing this. So my last fight, it was a long camp, just like all my camps are real long. So my last fight, I remember being in my hotel room like a day or 2 days before the fight, and I was watching TV, and it was a commercial for like going on vacation. They showed a beach, and I was like, I'm going there. I can't after this fight. I can't wait to go. I still didn't go yet, but I was like, as soon as this fight is over, I'm going there. So it's just like. It's just a lot of different like stages, mindset and mentality. It's like a lot of different stages you go through.
And I think also, like I was a former athlete back in the day, but preparing like for football, I think football is I think because it's a team sport, and you have so many people that with different personalities and different backgrounds, it gets by easier versus being an individual. Where you guys got to train by yourselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you might have a character, somebody that's from New York, somebody that's from New Orleans, somebody that's from Chicago. Right. And they have different ways of doing this. So now and then different types of athletes. So you're like, okay, how can I do that like that? So you now it's a little different. So my hat's off to you. So next question to you, brother. As you're a young man. How old are you?
32.
32, young man. A young kid look up to you for mentorship. How would a Regis mentor that young kid?
I mean, it depends what kind of questions they ask me. You know,
Or
I
as
mean,
they want to be a boxer.
first I tell them, you sure?
Okay.
I always tell them, you sure? Because listen, man, like it's you know, not to be funny or nothing like that, but this is a real tough sport. You know, they say you could play this, you could play that, but you don't play boxing.
Okay.
Because you like I forgot how many people die a year in the ring. You know, like it's
real.
True. It's real.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a really tough sport. And this is a sport to where, like, if you don't train, you know, you're not gonna not score a touchdown, or you're not gonna not make. You can get beat up, you can get hurt, you can really, really get hurt. Same thing in most sports, but the objective in boxing is to hurt the other opponent, especially in professional boxing. The objective is to hurt your opponent. Yeah. It's not to, you know, get points and stuff. That's the objective, is like to hurt your opponent. So, you know, if a kid want, you know, I say, like, you sure? All right. Mm-hmm. If they get past that, then I'll show them the ropes. You know, I tell them the main thing is consistency. You know, because so with us, you know, when I came out here, you know, a lot of people started, but it's only, I mean, I can count 3 people that's at my gym.
They're still doing
three people that's at my gym that started when I started.
Okay.
Everybody falls off.
Yeah.
Everybody falls off. So it's all about being consistent and trying to get, you know, really, really being consistent and trying to get better every single day, you know, because in boxing, of course, it's a saying and everything. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Right. And so and that comes with being consistent. You gotta be consistent over time, and you know, and just really dedicate yourself. And you have to, it's like, for me, I call it the 10 toes. You got to be all the way in the game. You can't be one foot in, one foot out. You know, you got to
put one foot in the water.
You can't be in, you know what I'm saying? So like,
cold.
Exactly. It's a big sacrifice. You know, for me, my sacrifice was like not going back to New Orleans. I want to move back after high school and stuff, but I stayed here. Yeah. You know, and it paid off. So I'm glad I did that. So yeah, it's if people want to, you know, come to me for mentorship, I'll tell them. You know, they do all the time. People come in.
That's dope.
And a lot of people say, I'm ready, I want to do it, but like they really not. They say that, but what you willing to give up? That's the thing. Sacrifice. Is like everybody. A lot of people say, oh, I want to do this. Of course, I want to have this. You say that, but what are you willing to give up? What you willing to sacrifice? Some people, you gotta sacrifice your family. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sacrifice a lot of things.
Your body.
You gotta sacrifice your body. It's a lot of things you gotta sacrifice. And a lot of people say, I'm doing it, but when it come down to it, they not.
Right. So, question for you guys, and this is a mutual question. Anybody can answer it. On the show, we have different guests that come on the show that talk about business, right? Because in our communities, we're getting some headway where we making some money and we're investing and we putting into places where it's going to better our futures. Right. For us with Overtime and Regis also, you guys can answer this. For us, the business side, will you guys have a business segment to teach the kids how to manage their finances, the people to put around them when they make money? Because you guys know the story. You know, you make a couple of $1 million, everybody joins on the team versus having your core group of people that's actually helping you.
Yeah, so
the business side of it.
That is one of our major 6 topics. You know, financial literacy.
Okay.
And we bring in a top-notch someone who's been working with professional athletes for years, and I don't want to reveal the person's name on the show, but the person just published a book, and he has committed to support Overtime Academy and to serve as one of our facilitators. And so not only the kids are going to get this from this celebrity financial advisor, and he works with a major company. He's managed billions of dollars for many athletes. They're also going to get his book and access to him as a part of our network. So no, that's essential. I can't even imagine being 19, 20 years old with a signing bonus. I don't know what is it, $3 million, $10 million, $8 million. I can't imagine. Yeah. And so think about, you know, coming from your neighborhood, you know, and let's say your parents average $30,000, $40,000 a year. Right. We even talked to another athlete in this process where both his parents were college educated, and they averaged somewhere about, you know, $300,000 or $400,000 salary in their household going up. But he said, my mom and dad had never seen $30 million. They couldn't have that conversation.
That's a life-changing number.
Right. No, but think about it. You know, we talking about the average salary in New Orleans
Right.
is about $18,000 a year.
Yeah, that is true.
And let's say, you know, our parents had, you know, $30,000 to $40,000 a year. We may have had an $80,000 household. This athlete was telling us he came from a $300,000 household, and
middle class,
and when his family was successful, and now he and his brother are making $30 and $40 million. What can mom and daddy tell you about that? So anyway, it's essential. Yeah, and not only that, we got entrepreneurs, we got finance and financial literacy. Again, there's a course involved, there's an assessment involved, a pre-assessment, post-assessment, and then you have access to this. And when you become a part of Overtime, you become a part of our network, a part of our team for life.
So it's like a family.
Yeah, you have that access.
It's a family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. So Regis, now, I don't want to get into your business, but now if you want to put the numbers out there, you can now. But far as the business side, like who taught you your business savviness, understanding business, what to invest in, what to go into it?
So, I mean, the first thing, you got to educate yourself.
Okay.
Because they got financial advisors out there. We talk about the same people right now, you know. So I got the same financial advisors they talking about, right?
You need to get him on a culturally distinct.
Yeah, I got the same. That's who works for me. The same financial advisor, but you still have to know about your own business, right? You got to take care of your own business. Be educated. At the end of the day, you got to be the boss, right? So, you know, sometimes, like, you know, the financial advisor saying when we working with, sometimes I'll do some things and he like, you know, I don't want you to do that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing. You know, like, so for me, like, I like real estate. That's what I want to invest in, right? And, you know, so they might say, nah, don't do that. That's not a good thing. But if you know about it and you educate yourself, then you know you do it, right? So you can go back and forth, but you got to educate yourself. And the same thing, what you're saying, you know, I come from, you know, my daddy and mom, they graduated from college, but you know, we didn't have too much money coming up, you know. And I tell you some number, I made it for $1 million already. But
I need $100, bro.
Got it right here. So, you know, they don't. What can they tell me? They can't. My daddy. The thing is, my mama, she wants to tell me everything. You need to do this.
Your mama will do that forever.
You need to do this. You need to do it. No, that's not true. I don't need to do that. My daddy, he'll tell me, look, I don't know what to tell you because I never made that type of money before. You know, so it's a really. That's one of the most hardest things is like to find out, and then taxes. Like, oh my, like taxes is crazy. You know, like I didn't know. Like my tax bill last year was like $180,000, and you just don't. You know, if you've never been in that position,
it's ways to get around that. It's good. I'm gonna tell y'all.
I got around it. I got around it. Oh, I got around that. Don't worry, I paid nothing.
Especially
I got
Texas.
I know I got around it. I did it. But you know, just when you see that, you open the letter from the IRS. It's like at first like 2 something. Like what? 2? You know, it's like it's crazy. You know, but if you don't have nobody around you that never dealt with that, it's a hard thing. So it's very hard being an athlete because you gotta. The number one thing, you got to be the athlete.
Yes.
Focus on being the best you can. And then you got all these distractions. Then people, now everybody needs something. Yeah. You know, that's another thing. Everybody needs something. If they don't need it, they want it. You know, there's a lot of people, they want these things and, you know.
Especially if they know you got it.
Exactly.
And I ain't never got it.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, and I have 2 different mindsets to be like, if I have it, you know, if I'm blessed to have it, you know, I'm gonna help my people out.
That's a good heart to have, man. That's good.
But don't take advantage. At the end of the day, don't take advantage. You know, because everybody can't do what I can do. You know, and everybody not gonna make the type of money I can make. You know, so if I can be that person in my family, you know, I'm gonna do it. And like me, like one thing I'm really really prideful about is like almost everybody around me, I elevated them. Almost everybody around me, I elevated them some type of way. Right. Elevated everybody, you know, and I'm really, really proud of that.
But you know what, to say that, God puts us in, you know, it's, if you guys watch this show, I gotta entangle God into some kind of way.
Absolutely.
So God he does this, and it's funny. When he puts you in a position, he puts you in a position to help other people.
Right.
A lot of people think, okay, well, I got 10 million, I got 5 million. It's for me. Nah, that's for somebody else to empower somebody else, so they can empower somebody else, and it trickles down.
But to his point, we do have a topic that we focus on when we talk about family and relationship, and it kind of intertwines that whole financial component of it. And what I discovered in my own personal experiences is that you change. It's not you don't change, but the people around you change. Right. And it's not their fault. You know, it's not their fault. And so I think when you understand that, you just kind of realize that, look, it is what it is. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
how do we move forward and address that without it becoming a personal issue? And in some cases they work out, in some cases they just don't work out. But at least you have that conversation and you know that it's not a personal thing.
Yeah,
it's the dynamics of it.
It just happens. Yeah, basically, like you said, it is what it is. It's gonna happen.
Right.
The people around you gonna change. You know, like just think about if you got a brother and your brother just made $20 million. You're gonna want something from your brother.
Absolutely.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about it in their perspective. You know, if your brother, your sister, your uncle, you find out they got $100 million, like you're gonna want something. You know, like so you gotta. I think about it like that too.
Yeah. Well, I tell my kids that. I tell my kids all the time. I tell them, they want something. First of all, why do you want it? If it's a major purchase, if you want something, tell me why you want it. Do you want it because somebody else has it, or do you want it because you need it?
Right.
Or is it an asset or is it a liability?
Right.
So I teach that all the time: assets versus liability.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, look, man. I know you guys got to run. I know you guys have a busy day. Next fight.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I just fought about a month ago. So
okay.
Right now we're trying to figure things out and see which route I'm gonna go, and we'll see.
All right. What can they find Overtime Academy?
All right. So our website is www.overtime.team. TEAM, overtime.team. And so it's a developing website. We're launching a new website middle of June. So give us some grace on that. Email address is admin@overtime.team.
Okay.
And phone number 832-303-0919. 832-303-0919. And we are a nonprofit.
Okay.
So folks want to contribute to it. And we're a service organization. We're basically helping athletes become better citizens all the way around. So even as however you want to define success, whether it's, going into coaching, whether it's, making $1 million, we're basically preparing them to be able to address the issues and be a productive citizen, a productive father, a productive mother, et cetera. So that's what we're about, man.
Dope. That's dope. Management team. How can they reach your management team if they want to? If Gervonta Davis want to fight?
Oh, that's easy. Look, that's easy.
I threw it out there.
Hopefully that's gonna happen.
Okay, Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, Gervonta Davis. Hopefully that fight can happen. So. Yeah, they all connected already. Matter of fact, I think they already talking about that already. So you ain't even got that's already happening.
So y'all look. Hey, look. I'm speaking this already. So at pay-per-view, probably in about 8 more months, we're gonna see Regis Prograis and Gervonta Davis pay-per-view. All right. So guys, look, man, I appreciate you guys for coming on, man. You guys be blessed, man. The guys who subscribe to the channel, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Culturally Distinct Podcast. Be blessed. I love y'all. Peace.
Izzo got the mic. He ain't say nothing yet.
He got the mic and the headphone. He ain't say nothing the whole time. Oh, wow.
I enjoyed it, though.
It was peace. He's like, I'm just chilling, bro.